Senator Cardozo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My question is for the government representative in the Senate, and let me just take a moment to start with the positive and recognize that the people of Canada have just sent $500 million to the Ukrainian military efforts, as announced by Prime Minister Trudeau in Kiev this past weekend. My question is about foreign interference on our end in Canada, and I want to come back to a question I asked a couple of weeks ago when David Johnston had, the Right Honourable David Johnston, as part of his report. I'd like to suggest that there be a third option that would combine some of the ideas that he put forward and other ideas that people have raised. So taking the ideas of his that NSICOP and NSIRA would review all the material he's looked at, that there be a national public inquiry, and that NSICOP and NSIRA be involved through that process to review materials that are not made public during the process, because I would assume that during a public inquiry of this kind, there are various materials that will be public and various parts will be in camera, and I think there's an important role that NSIRA can play in reviewing that material. But what are the government's views on actually getting on with having a public inquiry at this point?
Senator Gold.
Well, thank you for your question and for your suggestions. As all members of the chamber know, and as all Canadians know, discussions are underway between leaders of the opposition parties and the government with regard to both the mandate for a public process, the determination of what the public process should be, how it should be structured, and of course, who might lead that process. The Government of Canada is encouraged that the members of the opposition are working together. My understanding is that bilateral meetings are taking place or scheduled to take place between leaders of two major parties, and it is the hope of the Government of Canada that we will soon have a consensus emerged amongst the parties in the other place, so that the work can continue.
Senator Cardozo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for that, Senator Gold. I'd just like to follow up by saying that I think it is vital that the inquiry be comprehensive in at least two ways. That it look at foreign interference from any and all countries, be that China, Russia, North Korea, Iran, Venezuela, and any others, and that it looks at all forms of interference, be that political, economic, academic, scientific, communications, high-tech, or matters of immigration and international affairs. Can you encourage the government to make sure that we have a broad and comprehensive review that looks at not only the issues that we face right now, but look to the future of a problem that is becoming increasingly an issue for all countries to be concerned about in the years ahead?
Senator Gold.
Again, thank you for your question and suggestions. Both the Government of Canada and indeed the intelligence agencies have been aware for some time that this is a problem that is growing and a matter of great concern. That's evidenced in reports issued by NSICOP, statements, other statements, and of course was also noted and underlined in the Honourable David Johnston's report. But again, the process of being this stage of the process is one in which representatives of all political parties in the other place are seized with the obligation to arrive at a common understanding of the mandate in the process, and again, the government hopes that will bear fruit as soon as possible.